meteorologist Rob Perillo.
Welcome back. Well, Acadiana looking pretty, sitting pretty on the backside of this Hurricane Sally off to the east of us. Meanwhile, areas that we frequent from Gulf Shores over to Destin are going to be under the gun. The forecast track has shifted a little bit farther to the east, and I'm going to show you some pretty high winds that are expected in those locales off to the east coming up in just a bit on top of surge and rainfall. So here's the big picture, and right now we see a hurricane that doesn't have a closed eye wall. It looks like it's been trying to form an eye over the last several hours. This is a 12-hour loop of the heavier range, and you can see the center of circulation, the eye just about here, but we haven't seen one develop. We think as this begins to drift more northward, it may begin to get a little bit more organized. But notice all this heavy rain just skirting the coast so far, but boy, is the rain going to be piling up. Maybe upwards of 20 to 30 inches in spots, Florida Panhandle and back to the west. More on that in just a bit. Locally, we've seen a few renegade showers breaking off from the action off to the east. That's what we could see tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, but I'm going to keep rain chance at about 20%. We did see a few showers across the area late today. Busy pattern, obviously, with all the names just about filled out. This is the future Wilfred. We have Tropical Storm Vicky, not going to last long. Teddy's going to be a big one. We'll watch that, but no threat. Renee remnants. Hurricane Paulette hit Bermuda, now moving away. And then we have Hurricane Sally and a little bit of a disturbance in the western Gulf. But it's all about Sally. That's the main threat right now. And as we look at this 12-hour loop, it really got its act going earlier today, kind of leveled off early this afternoon. And then we're starting to see more bursting out and convection right near the center again, but it seems like it's already gone through that. So maybe later on tonight we see another intensification period, but right now holding pretty steady. But this is the big news. Look at this, slowing down to 3 miles an hour. Maximum sustained winds at 100 miles an hour. Pressure has not changed a whole lot since earlier this afternoon. Expected to become a strong high-end Category 2, may buck against the Category 3, but the bottom line, slow movers. So you're going to have major storm surge action not going away for more than a 24 to 36-hour period, and the same goes with rainfall as well. Hurricane warnings continue, although the interior parishes including Grand Isle, now down to a tropical storm warning, so good news there. Hurricane warnings, though, extended farther to the east during the course of the day today. And as for that storm surge, the numbers coming down from the National Hurricane Center, about 6 to 9 feet versus 7 to 11, but still it's going to be problems for eastern Louisiana, coastal Mississippi, and into Alabama as well. Here's what some of the observations coming in on the offshore buoys and platforms. This is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. 20-foot seas, 100-mile-an-hour winds at Viosca Knoll with gusts to 117, and these buoys are all showing wind gusts at or above hurricane force right now. These are just the sustained winds in the 50 to 60 range, but I've seen gusts as high as 75 to 80 over the last couple of hours. So here's the GRAF model. By the way, I didn't show you this model yesterday because this is where the model says the storm was going, and of course we had the Hurricane Center with the forecast track over here, so I really couldn't show this model, and this is the same model that nailed Hurricane Laura. So we're on the GRAF model, and we're GRAF lovers right now. And notice you can see the system getting closer to the coast. Still, wee morning hours of Wednesday, not making landfall till around daybreak on Wednesday, and then gradually working its way in. But that worst weather could be with this storm from Mobile on eastward into the Florida Panhandle. If you just look at some of the wind gusts here, you'll see 30, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts over by NOLA, and then winds begin to gust up into the 60, 70-mile-an-hour range tomorrow night. This area white, these are 100-mile-an-hour winds, and this did not miss it with Laura, going for wind gusts Dauphin Island, Orange Beach, Pensacola in the 100-mile-an-hour range going into Wednesday afternoon, believe it or not, before that system eventually moves inland. And rainfall, same model, GRAF model, keeping the bulk of the heaviest rains east of Louisiana, but better than a foot, better than 2 feet in some spots like Orange Beach, going for 31 inches. Now that 31 inches could be over here, could be over here, but when the model goes for 30 inches of rain, you know you're in trouble. But for us, no trouble close to home. A quiet pattern, we dry out, and then we actually get a little bit cooler, but not much as we round out the week and head into the weekend, and a relatively quiet pattern through the next 10 days. That's it for weather. We'll be right back right after this.